Thank you so much for coming in, Camille. I've been really looking forward to this one, and I think we should just get straight into it by letting everyone know who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
Yeah, why I'm here, I'm still yet to find out. But so you let me know, Josh. I'm Camille Abbott. I guess my day job, if you like, is as a marriage celebrant, but like you, am not happy to rest back and just do that. And so there's the Unbridely podcast, there's the Unbridely suppliers, there's the directory, there's the new business partnership that I'm doing and everything in between. But in the end, it comes down to making the most of milestones for people. And that I worked out recently, that is actually a theme that's come all the way through my career, my life, everything from McDonald's when I started, through music, through working for 20th Century Fox, through operations, through marketing, and then I've landed like on being a marriage celebrant, podcaster, etc. And so this is where I'm meant to be. And like we were just saying, Josh, like there's family now, like as you get a little bit older, sometimes you accidentally fall into a family and you have kids and stuff, but it just makes it all the more rich, I think.
For sure.
Like I've seen people, because I've been around for a while, you've been around for a while, Josh, there have been a lot of wedding vendors who have come and gone, and those that have stuck through have had to like change throughout the seasons of their life with their family and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen people go, do you know what? Weddings are really hard. They take a lot out of you physically, professionally, emotionally, all that sort of stuff. And I've seen some parents go, surely it's easier to go and do something else.
Yeah.
Right? And they go, weddings, it asks too much of me. It asks too much of my family. And I've seen almost all of them, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say 8 out of 10 people come back.
Yeah, wow.
Because they miss it. And they miss the vibe and they miss the connection and they miss the milestones. And a photographer I talked with recently, he went and did corporate stuff. Just, it's easy, right?
Yeah.
You go and you snap something, a building, it doesn't give you flack. There's no bridesmaid to give you shit. There's no mother-in-laws demanding things of you. It's easy. You take a photo of a building. But he said to me, then there's not that exchange of you have improved their life for their milestone celebration, and you don't get that. I guess it's gratitude back, that love back. He said, I don't get the beautiful reviews back.
Yeah.
And the quality of his life went down when he went out of weddings.
Yeah, wow.
And they keep coming back. So that's why I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to keep adding these jobs.
That's incredible. And I want to unpack a lot more.
Yeah.
Tell us, though, about the marriage celebrancy in terms of week to week, 2024, 2025. How's it been?
Yeah. It's been an interesting season. I don't know whether you're going to have Vicky's interview before or after mine, but we've got this code. Her and we were almost sister-in-laws.
Wow.
Because she almost married my brother, right? Can you imagine that family? Anyway, so there's this code and we will talk to each other throughout the season. How's the season going? Oh, it's this, that and the other, waiting for some bookings, whatever it might be. And, the code is interesting. If a season is interesting, generally in that moment in life, it's fucked.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, something has gone really badly wrong. And so she can say that any time of the day with the kids around or anything like that, or with, couples around. It's really interesting, Cam. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Because, this season's been unlike any other. As a vendor, myself, my own business, my own little personal neck of the world, for my family, for the world out there, holy hell. And then just for the weddings that I've been doing, because evolution doesn't stop for anyone. In weddings, we evolved so quick between 2020 and 2022, I reckon. Yeah. It was like you've seen kids have growth spurts. I feel like the wedding industry went through a massive growth spurt over that time. And the expectations of couples are different. What they want is completely different. What they're booking is different. Where they're going, what they're valuing. And so when you've been in the industry for 17 years,
Wow.
you go, okay, the game's changed again. Holy shit. What do you need now? What do couples need now? And I know celebrancy back to front, but that's not enough. You've got to know what the couples want and need and be reacting to that. So, yeah, how's the season? Interesting.
Tell us about that journey then that you go on with them.
It's been about seeing new vendors come in and I guess, being one of the ones that have been around for a while, understanding different trends as they're coming and going. But I feel like the real driver, first of all, was the appreciation that COVID gave us and the wake-up call that it was. Because there was a time where money was no object. Economy is through the roof. Everyone seemed to be generally gainfully employed, just cruising along, minding their own business. COVID stopped us in our tracks and made us go, okay, actually nothing is certain.
Yeah.
What's important to me? Then we've been through the economic thing. So then where you put your money really counts. And couples are not satisfied with just, in photography, I can take your photo. Congrats.
Yeah.
What about the other 50% of what I need you to do for me and care about me, my family, my soon-to-be spouse, all that sort of stuff. So I don't think that previous business models are working anymore.
Sure.
I don't think the way we were doing things is valid anymore. And it takes, for me at least, in my neck of the woods with marriage celebrancy, so much more communication, empathy, flexibility than ever before. And without that, I don't know if you've got a really solid offering anymore.
Yeah.
Because average is just not good enough. So, it's fascinating. It's amazing. But also I feel like generally as an industry, like here in SA, the quality has gone through the roof.
Yeah.
Because only the really serious survive and can make enough from a full-time living to continue. So you either work out what's working and you do that really well, or you go somewhere else, you do another job where you're going to miss us anyway.
Yeah, for sure. How would you say then you position yourself among, say, some of the other celebrants in the mixer? And if you're a couple and you're looking for a celebrant, how would you say that you sit? Where would you sit?
Wow, that's interesting. That's really fascinating because I guess, if I pull it back to photography terms, sure, you've got all the gear, you can take a photo, you can edit, you can deliver things on time, congrats. The other 50%, man, if you don't have it, you're nowhere.
Yeah.
In celebrancy, that 50% of doing stuff is probably way lower, down to like, I don't know, 20%, I reckon, would be about your legals and stuff that anyone can do if they've done the study and all that sort of stuff. So you've got 80% that comes down to the person. It's how I talk. It's how I communicate with people. It's how quickly I get back to people. It's whether or not I can leave my ego at the door and recommend someone else if I feel like I'm not a good fit for you.
Wow.
There's things like that which you would know as well. It comes back and pays you back time and time again. If you can get over yourself enough to serve a couple, then you've done great. Whether or not you get them to actually book your services, then you've done well and you've elevated the industry and stuff like that. So it sounds really straightforward, but there are horses for courses. And picking one is about the person more than anything else. So, if you put me in a group of celebrants, it's whoever you vibe with, it's whoever you're getting along with, It's, do they speak in a way I like? Do they either, use profanity, use jokes, whatever it might be? There's some couples who will just book me because I can roast their bridal party and they're like, get stuck in.
Yeah.
And that's bizarre because that's not really part of a wedding, but they are a bit sarcastic. They're a bit tongue-in-cheek.
Sure.
They've got the dry sense of humour. They want to have a laugh. They want to enjoy their wedding. But that's so much more about me as a person than me as a celebrant.
Sure.
So, I think more than any other vendor group, you're booking a person, which, by the way, hurts more when you have a meeting with someone.
Yeah.
Go, okay, let's have this first meeting. Okay, let's have a chat. Oh, my gosh, we've got along so well. Let me know if you'd like to book me. And then they go, no.
Yeah.
And you
wow.
go,
I think that experience that you've got, along the years counts for so much, and certainly for ourselves, we find that we can draw upon that experience, and it's so valuable. But and I can testify to this for you. I've seen you live. I've seen you do your bit, and you're able to adapt and understand the environment, understand what's happening there, and it's such a delicate space to be a part of. And so to understand the couple, but understand the family and understand their friends and their guests and be able to really relate is such an incredible gift.
It's a gift when you're doing a ceremony for the right couple. And it all gels beautifully when that happens. When a couple aren't sure, but they're under pressure or something like that, and they choose you anyway, there's this friction.
Sure.
And it's a little bit harder. I have some family and friends come up to me afterwards and they'll go, oh my goodness, lovely to meet you. And it's like they're like friends, lifelong friends. And that's when everything has gone really smooth, but it doesn't always go like that.
Yeah.
And that's why it's great when someone says, look, it's been lovely chatting with you, Camille, but I think we're going to go in another direction.
Yeah.
Good. Great.
It needs to be a case of you are suited for them just as much as they're suited for you.
Yeah.
And, it's such a fine balance, but I think that it's important, like you said, to be aware that you're the right fit or they're just as much the right fit for you to be able to produce something so well. Let's talk about some milestone moments or hero moments along the way, along the years. Anything that stands out to you?
I saw this question before I came today, Josh, and all I can see is like this celebrant in a cape, like this hero. And I had a really big think about it because there's like 17 years to draw from. But to single out any particular moment is insane because my job is to hold space for people. And however they express themselves through that safe space where they feel okay, it's perfect. And it's completely imperfect at exactly the same time. So over 1,000 weddings, every single one of them is like a hero moment, cape on, the whole thing. But there have been some things that have happened. COVID slapped us across the face. And looking back, I was so proud of getting out of my own depression about COVID and like, holy shit, we're locked down here.
Yeah.
And just going, my mates need to interact.
Yeah.
My wedding vendor mates are hurting because, as I said before, it's like Hotel California, like you can never leave, right? Once you're in. We're workmates. We don't stand around a water cooler.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we work in the same office, if you like. So, at that time, I brought together as many of the wedding vendors as I possibly could, and I did a month-long Sunday night live Facebook feed, and we just had some entertainment, and I encouraged people to bring drinks, whether that's alcoholic or non, and just chat about weddings to feel like we're still useful,
Yeah.
to feel like, the world was going to get back to normal. So we'll just put this placeholder here for now. And that was really big. And I'm really glad I did that for like SA wedding industry, but also Australia as well, because there are a lot of interstate people who were hurting at the same time. None of us died, but it was very stressful for creatives who thrive on interacting with others. It's like, man, if you could think of a hell for creatives, that was it.
Yeah, wow.
So, yeah, that was amazing. And also I looked back a bit, and in 2017 I did this, I call it a non-wedding expo because I'm not really a fan. Trestle tables and pull-up banners and fuck, give me strength. So, yeah, the idea was just getting really great wedding vendors in a room, having some food trucks in there, having some substantial food, nothing too prissy.
Yeah.
And, yeah, entertainment, Q&A, doing presentations as well about how to sort of get over all the anxiety and expectations of friends and family, really forge your own path. So Unbridely Live in 2017 was... looking back, I'm like, should I do it again?
Maybe. Perhaps tell us more about Unbridely then.
Unbridely. So, yeah, I'm a little bit, in my personal life, a little bit sassy, a little bit sweary, and just generally, as I said, sort of how I do ceremonies is just a reflection of my personality, really. And so I did a few years as a celebrant, and I'm going, okay, and I looked around, and at the time, 17 years ago, it was very prescriptive, and there was a path, and you walk that path, and that's what a wedding was. And people were just starting to understand that it didn't have to be.
Yeah.
And maybe the first generation who realised that it didn't have to be that way. And it upset me when I saw my couples getting super stressed, dropping bucket loads of cash thinking it's going to make things better, make mum happier, whatever it might be. And so I'm like, no, I like the opposite of all that. I like you expressing yourself.
Yeah.
I like you doing what you want, going to a place that makes you feel great, whether that's little elopements and things like that. So at the time, I just wanted to be anti-bride. So it was unbride.
Yeah.
It was unbridely. And hopefully all the ways that you don't have to follow the paint by numbers.
Sure.
And also understanding maybe for the first time that I can do a great ceremony. If I'm at a venue that doesn't look after a couple, if I've got a photographer who, I don't know, is thinking more about their ego than actually the couple themselves, I'm nothing. And their day can go downhill rapidly. So then the whole idea of weddings are a team sport, I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
You can't do this stuff on your own. And that's also the beautiful part of it, is bringing together these people. So, yeah, it started off as a blog. It started off just sharing, info for people and just going, fucking fight. Fight the tradition. Fight, if you want. Fight the culture wars if you want. The same-sex marriage thing wasn't, we didn't have marriage equality in Australia at that point. So that was a really big fuck tradition situation as well. So there was all of that. And then, it ended up being Unbridely Live, and then over COVID, Unbridely Suppliers. And then I got a little bored again and decided that maybe a podcast would be great. So I'm 3 years into that now, which is wild. It's just where people say that they need help. So maybe I should have a cape. I don't know. But that's where I go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I go, and that's what has driven every iteration of what I've done as a celebrant and what I've done in Unbridely.
Are you aware, I'm sure you are, that you've curated a very, very special community within Unbridely for suppliers? Have you been have you acknowledged, have you taken the time to pause and be aware that you have curated something very, very special?
I would love to think that's true. And from my perspective, it's true. But from every other perspective, it's something totally different. And as I said, the personality component I know is like really huge. So the first thing I'm checking is, do I get along with these people? And then what do I think of their work? And then what do I think of their work ethic? And if that ticks boxes, then to me, we all should be together. Sure. There's just so much power in the community.
Yeah.
And with the weddings are a team sport business, hopefully, I know, I saw it, especially during COVID when people going down, oh, holy hell, I'm positive. It's like, oh, God. And people rushed to each other's aid and just helped each other out.
Yeah.
And, if we're in a big, tall office block and we're all on the same floor and, we're all walking around in suits, I'd hope that we'd do that too. I think it's the type of people. But, yeah, I'm proud to be surrounded by them.
I think it's great. We, as a team here at Oaktree, we feel proud to be a part of Unbridely and, the rest in that community. It's great to be able to have that network to touch on and connect with. Moving on from Unbridely, what is on the horizon for Cam?
Yeah, what's next? Who knows? I've got a couple of things that I'm sort of planning and working with, and one of them is I've just started a business partnership with a software engineer because we'd like to solve another problem within events. So, yeah, maybe that's the next iteration of what I do, but at the moment, extremely happy doing as many ceremonies as I can. The numbers have come down a lot. I charge more, I do less. But that way, then I can also help more people around the world. That's wild. You're gonna find this too. So the craziest thing is you record something here, little old Adelaide, right? And then you put it out in the world, and then someone on the other side of the planet says that you helped them.
Wow.
And you go, oh.
How does that make you feel in that moment?
Yeah, shithouse. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. I could never be a doctor. I can't stand the sight of blood. Like, there are so many things that I couldn't do, to save my own life. I can talk to people. I can make them feel comfortable, and I can provide a space for them to celebrate a milestone. And, in this day and age, we can discover that has value for people all over the place, which is wild. Like, because I come from a time before the internet. I come from a time before Google, before YouTube. You couldn't do this shit.
Sure.
No one could see you or hear you. And now there's these platforms. So it's everything. I've had this gorgeous bride from Maine. Do you know where Maine is in the United States, Josh?
No. I used to have a Maine Coon, and I think that's the origin of where that cat is.
Possibly. So if you go to the eastern seaboard and you go up from New York and you almost hit Canada, you're in Maine, right?
Yeah, well.
My podcast got to this woman. She and her husband, poor guy, now, hi, listened to my podcast episodes. They got engaged many years ago and got all their planning stuck. They paid too much for a venue to start with. They had it on a date that didn't suit some people. It was, in a place that wasn't going to, things got bad and they got stuck. So they cancelled that wedding. Couple is fine, got rid of the wedding planning and then just went about their lives. Then went, geez, we are engaged. We really would like to get married. Listen to my podcast. I don't know. It gave them some sort of permission because they had it. They had the permission.
Yeah.
But, here's this little upstart from Australia going, fuck everything, guys, do whatever the hell you want. And for whatever reason, they heard that and they went, yeah. And they went and did it. And they're beside this, I've got all the photos now. I'm going to interview her in a couple of weeks. They're beside a lake. She's got wildflowers through her hair. There's a little, flower girl going down the aisle. I think there was a dog at one stage. They had a wedding illustrator.
Wow.
Really great band. And they did it for them. And they're so proud of themselves and they're so thrilled. And they're, I don't know, in Aruba or something on their honeymoon at the moment. And it all came from just trying to help people.
Sure.
It's just wild.
Yeah, wow.
It's wild. Let me know when you have someone from the other side of the world go, Josh,
Who knows?
you're the best.
No. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's find out a little bit more about Cam. So,
Sure.
Some hobbies and interests, family. Let the listeners, viewers, peel back a layer or two.
Yeah. Chocolate is the answer. Chocolate. Chocolate. Yeah, that's it. That's my life. I have a daughter. I have a husband. I have a greyhound.
Well,
He's awesome. And yeah, I do this marriage celebrant thing. I do the talking podcast thing. I used to be a musician a long time ago.
wow.
I'm not anymore.
Do you miss that?
Not really. No, that was.
You still get a mic in hand at somewhere along the way.
Yeah. It all built. It all
Sure.
built.
Tell us a bit more. So do you feel like you've got that entrepreneurial spirit then? There's a lot of moving plates, I feel, Unbridely and now this new venture. When did you figure that out? If you have yet.
Oh, Josh.
If you have yet.
It's very sweet that you presume that
Yeah.
I've got.
I think it's fact now, though.
No, I don't think it is. I think, and I would love, if there are younger listeners or listeners just starting out, viewers thinking about entering into the wedding industry and things like that and go, oh, they've got it all sorted out. They know what they're doing. Come on. Come on.
That's the hook right there.
We don't. We don't though. I don't know any adult who does. And it's funny because when you're younger, you look up to these adults who are walking around doing stuff and you go, oh, that's when I'll get it figured out.
Yeah.
Especially as a creative, you go where your heart takes you. You do what lights you up. And I'm still doing that. And the reason why there's been these changes is just because people have asked for it. People have needed it. And I've seen that. And I've just gone where there's need and where I have the skills to be able to fulfill that. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows, Josh?
What would you like to see in the wedding industry? I guess mainly South Australia here when we pop that question. But what would you like to see happen or change?
I think we've got an excellent baseline for empathy and customer service, which I think is massive, like really big. And because that alone can be a brand for SA Weddings. And coupled with that, no pun intended, is we've got a beautiful, beautiful state. You can go to all the wedding venues, here in the city, that's great as well. But we've got Flinders Ranges, but we've got the Barossa Valley, Clare Valley. You can go out to the fucking desert. We've got Kangaroo Island. Like, I would love to see, and this is something that happened during COVID. I got in on some chats with like the, not the health minister, I've forgotten her name. Anyway, people making decisions about COVID and health and events. And it was really clear that events, especially weddings, were not really taken seriously. I'd love to see the SA Tourism Commission get behind not just events like the Fringe and, the Adelaide Cabaret Festival and the motorsport that comes here, Tour Down Under, stuff like that. They could really do another layer, which would be incredible through, weddings and events like that, even corporate events and things like that, and to showcase what we've got here because we've got the great places, great food, great wine, amazing customer service and empathy, and then these amazing talented people as well.
Yeah.
So I think we are a diamond in the rough over here, and that could really explode, as far as weddings and, travel tourism and things like that. I'd love to see everyone really step up, especially post-COVID, and have the sort of industry and numbers and, I guess, I don't know, just the focus on weddings and events.
Yeah.
I think everyone's doing the right thing. Everyone's getting better at what they do. And I feel like everyone takes that really seriously.
It's a hard one because it's not necessarily a regulated industry. As a celebrant, you have to go through, your course, your study.
Yeah.
And for photography, you could, in theory, pick up a camera and just get snapping.
You could.
And then label yourself or try and label yourself as.
Yeah.
And I think it would be nice to see some sort of regulation, or to be able to be taken more seriously.
Yeah.
Because there is so much that goes into it.
Yeah. But I think we've proven that maybe regulation isn't the answer. That we're doing great. As little independent contractors who all come together to produce events, we do great.
Yeah, yeah.
And the standard is super high. I've lived and worked like all over Australia. I've seen stuff overseas. I chat with wedding vendors all around the world. The standard we've got is excellent, and we give a fuck. Let's get a campaign together. Let's bring people over from interstate and overseas and make ourselves a destination for these amazing celebrations.
Yeah, wow.
We're a really livable, easy to get around city, and we provide great value for money that the Eastern Seaboard finds it really hard to compete with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see it all elevated. And I'd love to sit on the board. That'd be great. Thank you. Good night.
Close it off there.
Fade to black.
So excited just to chat and unpack, and albeit it's a short time to do so, but rather than ships in the night passing at weddings, it's been an absolute pleasure just to sit with you and chat some more. So I wish you all the best for the rest of the year and look forward to seeing you out there in the field. So thank you so much, Cam.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. And I'm really excited, and I wasn't kidding, when someone from overseas says that you've impacted their wedding or how they feel about their wedding vendor journey, just mark that.
Yeah.
Mark that day, because that is the kind of, it sounds so corny, but good vibes that you're putting out there. It's the help you're putting out there, and it's providing a service for people. And I feel like that's what we're on the planet for. So, yeah, well done,
Beautiful.
man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mason, thank you so much for coming down. Really excited, as always, to have people in, especially yourself. You've got the acoustic behind you, so it's already a given what you may be involved with. But for those who are listening, those that are engaging, please share who you are, what you do.
Yeah, cool. My name's Mason Lloyde, obviously. I run my own business, Mason Lloyde Music, along with my business partner, Tom. He helps back of house, and I'm obviously front of house, the face of the business as such. I'm a acoustic performer, a DJ, and sort of form into whatever I need to do to grow the business. I'm 33 with too many body pains at the moment, so but yeah, no, that's me. So I've been in the industry for ever since I was out of school. So that would be, I've graduated school in 2009 and basically went straight into it. Not as in depth as I am now, not as full time, but I was sort of finding my way, just trying new industries, different locations and that sort of thing. And then obviously went back to my music, and I did music all the way through school. So
Yeah, wow. Wow. Tell us about that history that's led you to this point then, in terms of music, and just kind of how you educated yourself, how you trained yourself up. How did that happen?
Yeah, for sure. So my parents put my sister and I into performing arts school when we were like little tackers. So like, I would have been single digit sort of vibes when I started. So, and that was at a company in Adelaide City, and that was focused on music, dance, acting, the whole lot.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how it started, I guess, with both of us, and sort of doing stage productions and whatnot. I always thought as a kid that I wanted to do acting, and that was like where I really wanted to, like, my direction to go. Throughout school, I ended up picking up the guitar and sort of teaching myself guitar, and then fell in love with music more than I did acting side of things.
Sure.
So I still did the acting side of things a lot throughout school and outside of school too. 2014, I went over to the States and did a convention that was focused once again on acting, modelling and singing, and tried to break into the industry over there, and then just decided to come back home.
Yeah, wow.
And sort of went, head down, bum up on my music solely.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah,
The trifecta. I mean, the triple threat there of a bit of everything.
Oh.
Why is music so important to the wedding industry?
music's so important to the wedding industry because it is the soundtrack of your day. Like, you can't watch a movie without a soundtrack, right? So if life was silent, then life would be boring in my eyes.
Yeah, wow.
And once again, we can go back to the movie analogy. Like, if you watched a movie and it had the script and everything, but there was no soundtrack to whatever to create excitement, to create any sort of feeling, it would be a totally different experience to what we experience. So yeah, music for a wedding is your soundtrack. Yeah, it's to bring more vibes, to bring more feeling, to help your audience engage. Man, it's so important.
Yeah, for sure. Do you find that each wedding is kind of stock standard? It's quite cookie cutter, or do you find that you're curating something very unique for each wedding? How does it typically look?
Yeah, for sure. Look, I can see how some people might think that it's cookie cutter, or they might fall into that cookie cutter thing, but we try to pride ourselves on creating a very bespoke sort of experience for every client, every couple, and working with them to make sure that it's exactly what they imagined. Everybody's different. Everybody imagines their wedding day a different way. So, which I try and mold myself into the version of what they would like.
Yeah, sure. And what options are available then? So is it something that, as guests arrive, it's pre-ceremony, you're kind of setting the tone, setting the vibe?
Yeah,
and
correct.
then post-ceremony, like, walk me through kind of, if you had to, a standard or a typical kind of
day at a wedding
experience.
Yeah, for sure. So we offer full day entertainment, full night entertainment, and that does start with the pre-ceremony music. That would involve myself sort of either playing. Once again, it can be instrumental. It's something that we sort of work with the client, with our couples, to sort of give us the vibes that they want to feel. So a lot sort of choose to do an instrumental for the first part of their ceremony, right up until the bride walks, and that sort of once again gives that real impact.
Yeah, for sure.
And it allows the feels to come out. So I sort of play a little game with my couples, and I try to make sure I can make the groom cry. So by doing that, we keep that instrumental going until the bride walks, and we have the pinnacle of the song as she steps out, or the groom steps out, whoever the couple is, and that's my little game to myself and with my couples, and we sort of share that fun game together. It's a little challenge for me, and some blokes are like, "Oh no, mate, no, it's not going to happen," and they're usually the ones that are bawling their eyes out.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah.
And in terms of curating an experience for someone, is there something that you can't do? Is there a song you can't play? Like, have you ever been in a situation like that?
I haven't. So I once again, we work with the couples as much as possible. I've had a lot of random songs thrown out at me. Like I'm not a metal singer. Like I don't scream, but I've had metal songs or I've had punk songs or whatnot, and they've thrown it over the table. Some 41, like that sort of vibes, and they're like, "Can you turn this into a wedding song for me?"
Wow.
Because we as a couple, in a relationship, meaning the bride and the groom, or the groom and the groom, or the bride and the bride, connect to this song, and that's our song. And we want to incorporate it in our wedding and on our ceremony, but obviously we can't be going down to the wedding on the aisle to like headbanging.
Yeah,
I mean you can if you want to,
But so you've been able to then, like you said, curate something that's more bespoke, with that acoustic feel, that just helps the setting and helps carry that moment. But with something in such a meaningful and powerful way, which is incredible. And how much time goes into the process, when you're chatting with a couple and putting something like that together, and then learning a song,
Yeah, well, it's months of work really, and that's usually why we. The good vendors sort of block out, they book out in a long period of time, because we put so much effort into it to make sure it's exactly wanted. So if for example I get a song that I'm not familiar with, or might be not a typical acoustic song, then that itself is weeks of trying to perfect it and trying to recreate that song to fall into an acoustic without losing the original vibes, if that makes sense.
What does your week typically look like? Can you give us an insight into how your week works?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been full-time musician, I should say, for, I would say, about 7 years now, just full-time. I've been in the industry, obviously, for a lot longer, but full-time, 7 years. And that consists of gigging roughly from about Wednesday through to Sunday, whether it be public events, private events, corporate weddings. Monday, Tuesday is like my weekend. I try and take it as a weekend, although I struggle to stop. So I'm always doing something. Apart from that, if I've got a private function or a wedding that needs, once again, requests wise that need to be learnt, then that fills up a lot of time. Like I said, I have to sit down and try and work out exactly how this song's going to come about. It's not necessarily just sitting down and learning a chord pattern. Sure. So you gotta fit the mold of what that song is.
Wow. Within the wedding space, do you feel like there's a variety now of musicians out there? Do you feel like it's saturated, or do you feel like there's still space?
Everybody's different in a way that musicians are not all the same. So there may be hundreds and hundreds of musicians in any area, but obviously everybody's going to be slightly different and appeal to a different clientele.
Sure.
So I don't think it's saturated. I think there's always room for more, and there's always work for each person.
There's certainly nothing like a live band, a live muso when we're at a wedding, and there's that experience, and you look across at the families and the friends, and just that excitement, when the beat hits, or when it starts to crank, and we've been witnessed that to a few times, and I really encourage our couples as well to explore that option.
Yeah.
Do do you find that nowadays it's a budget conscious thing? If they go 2, 3 piece, 4 piece, how do you feel that that works?
Budget wise,
Yeah.
And look, the world's expensive now. Like everything's expensive. Budget does come into a play a lot. But you sort of get what you pay for too,
Yeah.
So it's you've got to take that in consideration of what sort of caliber vendors, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just musicians. You want the work you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
I find a lot of couples are leaning more towards solo acoustic, or sometimes duo. I work closely with a violinist myself, so we do like an acoustic, vocal and violin together, which
Yeah,
is
wow,
really
beautiful.
nice for weddings. So I've found they'll lean more into that, and then DJ for a reception, rather than your band.
Sure.
Why I think budget does come into a lot of that. Like obviously, the more people you throw in, the higher the cost, which is unfortunately the way it is. And they can usually achieve the same results through DJ.
Sure.
People just want to dance, right?
Yeah, and also logistics of space. If you've got a 4-piece
100%.
fight and a kit and acoustic keys, you name it.
Yeah.
It can determine, but obviously, of course, that's part and parcel of the whole wedding process or planning process.
That's right. Yeah.
So-
And that comes down to working with the venue too. Like we are not only just working with our couples, we'll work with your chosen venues and other vendors to make it all work seamlessly. Us vendors that have been in the industry for a long time, then we've done a lot of weddings, we've done a lot of corporate functions, and if you trust us and allow us to, take it into our own hands to create what you want, I think that when you receive your best results.
Yeah, for sure. Any hero moments that stand out along the way?
Within weddings or within in life?
Yeah, in life. Yeah, personally, whether it be in the wedding space or not. For you, for Mason, what is some of those hero moments along the way?
Yeah, I mean that's a really hard question, because it's hero moments can be defined by an award. It can be defined by learning a new riff. It can be defined by so. I was thinking about this question, and it's something that I was sort of coming blank with, because I can't lock down any one moment that's a hero moment. I could say that my getting the AB awards for best solo musician back to back, which is great, amazing. That is a hero moment, right?
And that's testament to all of the couples that
correct
are writing reviews and
correct. And like I pride myself on that. I pride myself on the fact that we've got 5 stars, like from over the hundreds and hundreds of couples that we've helped, that we're still 5 stars, which is great, right? And that is a hero moment.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's it's the little things as well that can be hero as well. Just
Nailing the Some 41 acoustic, things like that.
100%.
And as a creative, as a muso,
Yeah.
you're certainly thinking, those things you're onto a winner here.
Yes.
It might make yourself feel, sense of pride and accomplishment through those things.
Hitting a note that you're like, fuck me, man.
No, great. Anything special on the horizon? Anything in the future that you've kind of got mapped out?
Look, we're working pretty hard towards just continuing to grow the business. Personal life, my partner, she's starting to be paramedic at the moment. So
Incredible.
I'm letting her do her thing. So in the next couple of years, I'm going to just be sort of head down on work to help us survive. Having one person studying is
serenading her as she studies.
Right, yeah, that's it. Yeah, it just helps her. That's, I'll say serenading should tell me otherwise. But she is
Yeah.
too much of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anything else other than obviously studies for your partner? Anything for the business and music other than just working hard?
Yeah, I mean, I would continue to sort of grind with the original side of things. So one, I would say, no, it's not bad, but I would say my worst trait is that I'm a perfectionist. Well, it's not a worst trait. It's also it's
Gift
like
and a curse.
yeah, catch 22. So perfection, as Tom, my business partner, said, I've part of the 1%. So we're part of that 1% of the world. You know, we're trying to be that perfection, that perfect vendor or just supplier. So that's a big curse of mine when it comes to original side of things. Like I've got all these songs that I would like to release, and I've recorded and redone and done it again, and then rewrote it, and then just on and on and on. And I've got them all recorded, and I would like to release it, or release them, because they mean so much to me. But I'll continue to pick at it. So I need to let that go, and that was something that I would like to achieve this year coming in.
Great.
Is to jump back on that creative side of original music as well.
And even the fact that you're just acknowledging that already is a huge step, because that's the blockage.
Yeah.
So, we're never going to get these out if I don't overcome this, which is
For sure.
A good trait to have and something good to pick up. Anything that you would say is encouraging for the other suppliers out there, maybe other musicians, say starting out? Any words of encouragement for them?
Yeah, for sure. Like everybody starts out somewhere. I did too. Don't be too harsh on yourself. That's one thing that once again, it's that perfection side of thing that I was. And don't be scared just to jump into it. Like work closely with your couples, and you're there to obviously supply music to them. So if you can sort of mold yourself to exactly what they're after, then I think that's where you're going to succeed. You obviously don't want to change yourself, but you've got to be able to mold.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Listen, it's such a unique space that you're in, and like you said before, everyone's got their own version of a song, their an individual voice quality or tone. It's certainly such a gift. It's one of those roles that you are kind of irreplaceable in that moment, because they've kind of booked you
Right.
for what they've heard and your tone and your voice. And so, credit to you for pursuing this for kind of so long and having that flame kind of still burning, and the motivation to continue on. But
thank you very much.
certainly we'll be listening eagerly for these releases of the originals, or maybe pushing you hard to say, hey, where are they at?
Where are they? They're fine as they is. Just release it. Yeah.
No, beautiful. Well, listen, Mason, thank you so much for coming down
No worries.
and
Thanks
just
for
sharing a
having
little
me.
bit more about yourself. And for those that are listening, really encourage you guys to connect and search
For
Mason
sure.
Lloyd in there. And
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thanks,
No
mate.
worries. Cheers.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to get straight into it by letting you introduce yourself and what it is that you do and why you're here.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having me. My name's Laura Watson. I'm the owner of the Bride Lab. We started in 2016. We are a wedding dress boutique, and it started from an idea that I had after I got married, which I think is quite a common theme in the wedding industry.
Yep.
So after I got engaged, and I'd been to pretty much every wedding dress shop in Adelaide, couldn't find anything that I liked, anything that felt quite right. And my husband and I were only having a 6-month engagement. So in wedding world, it's not a long time, but I didn't know that at the time, as most people don't. So sort of went into one of the bridal stores in Adelaide and got a bit of pressure because I was running out of time, and I decided like, all right, I just need to pick something because otherwise I'm not going to have anything to wear.
Yeah.
So chose a dress, and then when it came in about 4 months later, I remember going in and trying it on, and I knew straight away I was not going to wear that wedding dress. It just didn't feel like me. It didn't feel special. It didn't make me feel beautiful. So long story short, about a month before my wedding, I ended up buying something off the rack in a sample sale, but it was a very stressful situation that I don't wish on anyone. But it sort of planted this seed in the back of my mind that maybe somebody could open a bridal store and offer something a bit different. I felt like a lot of the places I went to were just offering the same sort of things that you felt like you'd seen 100 times before. And I had a lot of my friends that were travelling at the time to Sydney or Melbourne to get things that we didn't have in Adelaide. At the time I was working in medical science. I'd studied a Bachelor of Biotechnology. I'd worked in immunotherapy. I'd worked in ancient DNA. I'd worked in plant science. I'd 12 years of like research. And then once I had this idea, I just sort of couldn't talk myself out of it. Like I tried to talk myself out of it. I was like, this is crazy. What are you thinking?
Sure.
But yeah, it just wouldn't leave me alone. So lots of planning went into it, big business plan. I remember sitting down with my family, pitching them the idea that I was going to like leave my research career and open a bridal store, and everyone thought I was crazy. But it's just kind of grown and gone from strength to strength. A bit of right place, right time, I think, but also just really focusing on offering something different. So a lot of the brands we work with are exclusive. A lot of the brands we work with have never been offered in South Australia.
Wow.
So we've got Kaya, we've got Georgia Young. Those are both very popular Australian labels. And as well as bridal, they do a lot of sort of couture, evening gowns, red carpet looks, brown lows, that sort of thing. So they do really well at sort of being on top of fashion and bringing that into bridal rather than just keeping it really like traditional and cookie cutter. So a lot of brides come in for those brands, and then we've got like a lot of international labels. Alina Lina, they're our favourite. They're from the Ukraine. They're great for customizations. I shouldn't say favourite, but one of our favourites.
Sure.
They're great at like customizing all their gowns. We can do really couture, really unique stuff with them. And we love supporting them, over the past few years with the war that's been going on. We've got brands from Europe. We've got brands from America, just a really strong mix of really unique and different styles. So it's great to be able to offer that to brides. Love what I do.
Wow, that's incredible. Do you think that is what kind of sets you apart then from some of the other kind of boutiques or retail out there?
Yeah, definitely the brands that we stock would set us apart. And as I said, we try to focus on things that are a little bit different, a little bit sort of non-traditional, a little bit more sort of modern styles. Also, I would say we moved into our third location last November. So our third premises, we moved from King William Road where we it was quite a small space, and so the new space we're in Keswick, it's about 3 times as big. And I stripped that back and started from scratch.
Wow.
A lot of thought and planning went into it, into the design. So everything flows really beautifully. It's really like luxurious, really calming, really like a space you walk into and you just feel like calm and relaxed. We try to really provide that experience. Like when I was designing the space, I was debating like how many change rooms I was going to put in, but I just decided to keep it really exclusive and have I designed 2 really large, almost like we call them lounge suites.
Sure.
So they're really private. When you're in there, you can shut it off and you can't see anyone else that's in the boutique. Big couches, like lots of space. I also spent a lot of money on engineers and construction to like put in new windows into the building, because you really need that natural light, I think, because so many of our weddings are outdoors. You really want to see what your dress looks like in the natural light, which some places you can't do that. And you'd be surprised at how different a gown will look in like artificial lighting versus natural lighting. So that's something that we really put a lot of emphasis on the experience, on the space. and, really low pressure. We do not want to deal with unhappy brides. We want everyone to love their dress. So we don't do any we'll give you a discount if you buy on your first visit, which is just a way to pressure people into rushing into a decision. So we often tell people, go away and think about it. You've got photos. We encourage people to take photos, have a look at them, make sure, we want you to love it today. We want you to love it tomorrow. We want you to love it next year when you're getting married. So we really try to make sure that all our brides are 100% happy brides.
Tell us a little bit about the customer journey then and the client experience that you touched on.
Yep.
If you're a couple, if you're a bride, tell us how does that look?
Yep. So most brides, the first point of contact with us would be through our social media or through our website. We really feature heavily a lot of real brides on our social media because that can be great for people to see. We want to see, this is not just a model in a dress. This is how it looks on real people, real bodies, all different shapes and sizes.
Right.
So then that gives brides a good understanding of what we have in store. On our website, we also do have obviously a lot of the designer images. Most of our gowns, I think we've got about 250 gowns at the moment, and we've got most of those on our website. So we want brides to really know before booking an appointment with us that we're going to align with their vision. We don't want to waste their time. Also, pricing is really transparent on our website. We've got a price guide for every designer that we carry. Again, you want a bride to know that when she's coming in, you're going to have something that is going to be good for her. So really transparent about all of that on our website. So then we've got an online booking form where they can make a booking with us, choose a time that works for them. It's really straightforward. And then when the bride comes in for her appointment, we start off with a little meet and greet, little chat, sit down at the desk, ask her a load of questions about her wedding, about her partner, what she's looking for, if she's been trying things on, what she loves, what she doesn't love, the vibe of the wedding. We try to really understand her from that first moment so that we can pull to the dresses that are going to work for her. We love it when brides also give us a bit of free rein. We love to pull wild cards because obviously we know our dresses quite well. So it's really nice when you can just pull something a little bit out of the box, and the bride, she might look at it and be like, not really sure. And then she puts it on and she's like, actually, I love this. Yeah. So we try to make it really personal. As I said, it's a really sort of private experience in the boutique. You've got a private suite to yourself with your guests. And then often brides will come in and, they'll try on their gowns. We're happy to take photos. We also offer, if you want something a little bit more special, we've got a VIP experience where it's in an extended appointment. It comes with a bottle of South Australian sparkling wine, box of chocolates, just something a bit more fancy. You can celebrate with your friends. But as we said, we don't like to rush people into a decision. So then usually at the end of the appointment, we're going to quote you up on your favourite dresses. So you've got all the information that you need. We often say, go away and think about it, have a look at your photos, and then come back to us when you're ready. So then when she comes back in, we just take her measurements. The designer then makes her a new dress. And then when her dress comes in, we again get the bride back into the store, try the dress on, make sure that she's happy, and then off she goes, ready for her wedding.
Wow. Let's circle back for a minute. Tell us more about Laura and some of your other hobbies and interests and things that help, make things tick for you.
So at the moment, I've got 2 little kids at home. Keeps me quite busy. I used to do a lot of competitive skydiving. That was probably my number one thing to do. I've got over 700 jumps. That's how I met my husband, Tommaso. He's also a competitive skydiver. So that's just a really amazing experience. But probably the last sort of couple of years, it's taken a bit of a backseat. It's generally a weekend sport, and obviously having the business and having the kids, there's not a lot of time for that. So, I am on the hunt for a new hobby, trying lots of different things at the moment. But apart from work and family life, tends to keep me pretty busy. Lots of travel as well. Took my daughter, who's 8, back to Ireland for a family wedding last May. It was her first time in Ireland, and she was so excited to meet all the family. And it was very special because she was flower girl for my cousin who was getting married. I helped organise my cousin's wedding dress.
Wow.
She chose a dress from our boutique. So that was really special, being able to help her with that. And then also we made my daughter sort of like a little mini matching flower girl dress. And I was the flower girl for her mum's wedding many, many, many years ago. So that was a really special moment.
That probably brings me on nicely to some of those memorable moments or hero moments along the way. And I mean, that sounds like a really special occasion for you, bringing all those worlds together, family and business and everything. But anything that stands out to you that's
really special moments. That's a really good question. I would say some really special moments. So it's been nine and a half years, I think, that I've been in business. And over that time, I've had a few staff members who, because you're working so closely together, we generally end up becoming really good friends. And I've had 3 staff members over that time who have been engaged and married and chosen to wear dresses from the Bride Lab.
Yeah, wow.
And so that's always extra special when you can help someone that you know through the whole process. And like attending the weddings, seeing them on their special day, just feeling so beautiful. Those are probably like really special moments. We had Alyssa, who wore a dress from Ameline Vitali. I had Joey, who wore a dress from Kaya. And most recently, Marie-Pierre, who wore a dress from Alina Lina. So those are really special moments. And then also I would say, which links back to my personal experience of like why I opened the Bride Lab. When you see a bride come in and maybe she's feeling a bit deflated, she's feeling a bit over it, she can't find anything she likes and she's really struggling with the process. And then when you can sort of understand a bit more about what she needs and what she wants, and if you can pull something that she falls in love with and you can just see her whole body change, she just lights up, and you know that like you've done it, you've found the dress that she's going to get married in. Like, because that brings me back to the whole reason why I opened the Bride Lab. For me personally, I think that's another like really special moment when that happens.
Yeah, wow. It certainly makes our job a lot easier in our space to capture something when the dress is just so on point and so beautiful. And it is fascinating to see, you know, week in and week out, all these different dresses that are in front of us, but how they are so different and so unique, and they've got character and a personality that fits, you know, really well. And so to discover more about where that comes from and the story behind that, or the designer, is such a fascinating thing. So much goes in to that, and it's such a delicate space to be a part of. What would you say are some of the challenges that you've met along the way since, you know, establishing?
So what would be the challenges? Sometimes the challenges come from the people that the bride brings along. So I suppose sometimes brides maybe get a bit swept up in like creating this moment, and they want everyone to be there, and their mum, their auntie, the mother-in-law, sister, like 4 bridesmaids, Auntie Jo. Like sometimes it's just like too much.
Sure.
And it becomes really hard for the bride to really hear her own voice and what she really wants and what feels true to her. Especially sometimes you get some really like dominant personalities. Sometimes people just aren't really constructive. Like you can have your opinion for sure, but like try to be polite, try to be constructive. It really hurts us when someone in the group is like tearing the bride down or like nitpicking on little things that just not really important, especially if it's a dress that the bride has come out and she's like beaming in.
Yeah, wow.
And someone just like shuts it down like that. That really hurts us, and it really hurts the bride too.
Yeah.
So I would say that's maybe like a piece of advice, that you can do it on your own. Like you don't have to include everyone. You can include people later on if you want to. Like you can bring them back for like the reveal at the end when you're coming to pick up your dress.
Yeah.
And that way it's like, here I am and here's my dress, and everyone just gets to be part of that moment without feeling like they have to have too many.
And do you
opinions
see
about
that?
it.
Is it rare that a bride would come in by herself or maybe just with one? Or is it more common that they do bring in a full collective of friends and family?
It's probably a fairly 50-50 split. And sometimes brides can feel a bit uneasy when they come on their own, but Like, we love that as stylists, and we're there to help them along the way. And as I said, like, we'll take lots of photos. So it doesn't have to be anything that they feel like they're hiding from anyone. You know, they can still share some photos later on, or, you know, sometimes we'll have brides who come in on their own, and maybe because they want to be able to have that experience without too many opinions, and then maybe they've got like a couple of favourites, then they'll book another appointment, bring back their bridesmaids or their mum or, you know, whoever they want to be part of that experience. And then she can say, well, you know, here's my 3 favourites, and how do you feel about this? Or, you know, what does everybody think? And that can be really helpful and maybe a bit more constructive when the bride's already sort of found her vision and has had a chance to think about what makes her feel good and what makes her feel comfortable.
What are some of the qualities that you feel that some of the team have to have when working with these couples that are coming in or brides that are coming in?
Yeah.
What would you like to see in your team?
So a lot of listening, a lot of like picking up on cues, reading body language, and also, you know, when you're dealing with those groups, you have to have a bit of diplomacy. You have to be able to sort of, you know, we're always on Team Bride, so you have to have her back. And sometimes you might have to politely ask someone to like pipe down a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
We're here to focus on the bride and her vision and not necessarily what you want. So yeah, it's a lot about listening. Sometimes we feel like we're a bit of therapists, you know, we're there to like help the bride through some problems, or, you know, sometimes there's a lot of dynamics going on, but really just about understanding her vision and making her feel beautiful and finding something.
Is that something that you anticipated when you set Bride Lab up, that you thought about your staffing, you thought about the team as part of that vision, or is it kind of tunnel vision, the store, the experience, you?
Yeah, definitely not. I did not think when I opened the Bride Lab, I did not think about having staff. I did not think about having a team. When I opened with like 30 dresses in a 35 square foot shop, and a month after I opened, I found out that I was pregnant.
Wow.
So that was unexpected. That was not what we had planned for that year. But yeah, it was just me for the first 12 months. Well, not even 12 months. I remember, so Saturday is always our busiest day, and I remember that December, Friday afternoon, going into labour and being in the hospital, and I gave my husband the phone and I was like, you're going to have to call all the Saturday brides and reschedule their appointment because I cannot go to work tomorrow.
Sure.
So it was literally just me, and luckily I reached out and had a couple of great friends step in to help out over those next few months. And then it's just really slowly grown from there. You know, my first official staff member I just advertised on my social media, and she was a local girl who used to walk past the store every day on her way to work. She was working in a restaurant at the time. And it's just really grown. I've had some really amazing staff members, and I have at the moment, you know, I've got a team of 3 at the moment. I've got Georgia, Marie-Pierre and Jess, and they're all amazing at what they do and all work really well together. It really does feel like they're more than just staff. Like I consider them all to be really good friends.
Yeah, wow.
And everyone really cares about their job. Actually, we just got a review, or maybe it was an email they sent a few days ago about Marie-Pierre, saying that, you know, the bride had such a wonderful experience, and she said she really felt that Marie-Pierre cared about finding the right dress for her. Like it was never just about making a sale. And that's something that I really value, and it's great that people can see that that's what we're about. You know, we want happy brides, and I don't want to push you into buying a dress and then 3 months later you come back and you don't like it and you don't love it. That's not what we want. So right from the beginning, we set it up so that we want to make sure that every bride is making the right choice.
We were chatting with a supplier recently, or a vendor, and they gave a great analogy about carrying a baton from each part of the day. So in the morning, perhaps makeup artistry or floristry or what have you. But now I'm just sitting here thinking, hey, it begins way before then. And I know that every vendor and every supplier does connect with a couple, you know, months, years in advance sometimes. And for yourself, certainly, you know, that's a phase or a stage that you're meeting, and it would take someone remarkable with a true gifting to be able to journey with that person, like you said there, that your team possess that, you know, that personality type, that gifting to be able to understand the cues and understand the brief and the vision, putting the bride first.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a special thing.
Yeah.
What would you like to see in the industry? You know, maybe from your space or not, whether it be in South Australia, whether it be nationally. Is there something that you feel is missing?
So I was just emailing. I was emailing someone about this morning, actually, and it's maybe a small thing, but a lot of the designers, obviously, it's like bridal. It's a huge international market. A lot of the designers have got stockists all around the world. So there's a few really big bridal markets that happen throughout the year across the world. So there's like big ones in Milan, Barcelona, New York is a huge one. And I feel like the world's been a little bit against me. I went to my first bridal market in New York. So this is where a lot of the designers go for like a few days, and they'll all show their new collections. So as a supplier, as a boutique owner, you can attend the bridal market and you can see, you know, hundreds of new collections.
Yeah, wow.
And seeing them, it's exactly the same as buying a wedding dress. If I have to order my samples from pictures online, that's so difficult because you can't see the fabrics, you can't see how they move, you can't see how they feel.
Yeah.
So these bridal markets are a great opportunity to be able to make your selections for the coming season. So with so much going on, the last time that I was booked to go to a bridal market was April 2020, and obviously COVID, like, you know, threw that out the window. So I've booked for myself and one of my stylists to go to New York in October this year to see a lot of new collections, maybe have a look at some new brands. But obviously with the state of the world at the moment, we're a little bit on edge. We're a little bit like we're going to have to wait and see if this actually feels safe for us to be going. But I was just chatting with someone about potentially the opportunity to have an Australian bridal market.
Yeah, wow.
Because we have so many amazing, you know, Australian brands, New Zealand brands, and I'm sure like a lot of the international brands might be keen to attend as well. So it's just something. I know we have a smaller market here, and maybe we feel far away, but also that means, you know, a lot of people get to have a nice holiday in Australia.
Is that something that you feel you could be an advocate for, or lead the way, or pave the way?
Oh, it's not my area of expertise, and I definitely don't have the time. But I would definitely be supportive, and I think there would be a lot of people who would be supportive. So
perhaps once upon a time, though, there was a stage where you thought you wouldn't own a bridal store.
I never ever thought I would own a bridal store.
And so, who's stopping you take the next step and pave the way for that? You never know. I'll ask this though: what do you see on the horizon for yourself then, or the Bride Lab?
Sure. So we are. I've started talking in the last few weeks with another very well-known Australian brand who we are in the works of bringing into the Bride Lab. I can't make any announcements yet, but stay tuned. We should have a new brand announcement coming out in the next couple of months. So that's very exciting. But yeah, apart from that, it's just growing our brand, growing awareness, and just making sure that we've got happy brides.
Yeah, wow. So incredible. And you're doing such a great job at it as well. I mean, just hearing your story now and the journey that you've been on and setting up the store and the new locations and even just the vision in terms of architecturally how that's, you know, designed for the customer experience, for the consumer, for the bride, and putting them first again. That's such a special thing, and to put your heart and soul into that, and to still see that the passion is there, the flame is still burning, and who knows, you know, whether that be something in Australia that you could help support or help, you know, found would be great.
Yep.
In terms of dresses as a keepsake and the longevity and storage, what would you say to brides when they're thinking of keeping this for years to come, or potentially for their own, daughter or something like that?
My advice would be, if you're planning on keeping your dress as a keepsake, would be get it dry cleaned as soon as possible after the wedding. Because if you leave that sitting in a box or in a bag for weeks or months or years, if you're very busy and you just never got around to it, chances are that is not going to end well for the dress. So the sooner you can get onto getting that dress cleaned and preserved, the better. Also, I would say one of my favourite things to say to brides is a dirty dress means you had a good time. Sometimes brides say, how am I going to stop this from getting dirty? You're not going to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you spend your whole day being anxious about your dress, but then you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So the dirtier the dress, the more fun you've had.
Wow.
But then get onto it. If you're off on your honeymoon, give it to your mum or your auntie or someone. They can bring it down to the dry cleaner, get it cleaned and boxed up. And then, in years to come, you'll be able to show it off.
Wow. Laura, is there anything that you would like to share with the couples that may be engaging with this or watching, any of the brides out there?
I think one piece of advice that I would give to potential brides, which is something that we do come across quite often in the boutique, is that sometimes brides get caught up on this idea of finding a dress that's going to be timeless. Sometimes a little bit of anxiety comes in about, like, am I going to love this dress in 10 years or 20 years? Am I going to look back on this and question my choice? But my answer to that is that you're always evolving as a person, and trends always change.
Wow.
You're going to change between now and 5 years or 10 years down the track. Just like 5 years ago, you were a different person. So, and trends always change. What is timeless? Like, unless you choose something that's maybe like super simple and, I don't know. I think I'd rather focus on finding something that brings you joy and something that makes you feel beautiful and something that feels true to yourself. And whether or not in 5 or 10 years you would choose the same thing, I don't think that really matters, because if you can look back on the photos and remember that you chose something that brought you joy, that memory and that feeling, I think, will be way more important than trying to find something that in 5 or 10 years is still going to be seen as
Wow.
timeless or trendy or fashionable. I just think it's about staying true to yourself and just, have fun with it. Find something that makes you feel beautiful now and don't worry about the future.
You can tell just from that response that you're so the right person to be doing this and to have these experiences and to really understand the journey that brides go on. Congratulations with all of that.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Laura, for being a part of I'll Be There, and we look forward to seeing some of these fantastic dresses out in the field.
Great. Thank you.